Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
So welcome back. It's your girl Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat.
Hey Moni.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm just, swimming in all this abundance.
I can tell. It looks like you're living your life like it's golden.
Thank
You've got
you.
on a beautiful dress.
This is a little vintage boy.
So where did you get this? Because I thought about that earlier. I really love the detail on the arm.
Thank you. And it's got pockets.
It's so cute.
Where
did you find this?
So I don't remember exactly which secondhand store I got this from, but it's a thrift find.
It's so cute.
So
I love it a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, I do like the construction. Like I said, you don't find a lot of they don't really cut like this, and it's boat neck. It's fit and flare, which is always flattering.
So flattering.
So I didn't have to wear any support wear today.
And that's always a good day, is it not, ladies? You hear me?
So I could breathe and sit, and it's great. I wasn't going hard like Dolly.
You're not, and I was gonna say it's an excellent segue. Just talking about fashion for our topic today, which is Dolly Parton and her book Behind the Seams: My Life in Rhinestones. So this is a really fun book to talk about because we get to explore her story through just her sense of style, which I thought was really interesting.
Unapologetic glamour.
Unapologetic. And I do have a little synopsis here about the book, so
I'd like to hear it. Will you read it?
I will.
Thank you.
Okay, follow along, kids. A beautiful celebration of Dolly Parton's iconic sense of style through entertaining personal stories and 450 full-color photographs, including exclusive images from her private costume archive. Dolly Parton shares, for the first time, the full story behind her lifelong passion for fashion, including how she developed her own distinctly Dolly style, which is defied convention and endeared her to fans around the world. Featuring behind-the-scenes stories from Dolly Parton's life and career and the largest reveal of her private costume archive, this gorgeously photographed book spotlights the most unforgettable looks from the 1960s until now. And so that's what we're getting into, guys. Hopefully you are up for the journey with us today. So before we sort of jump into the book, let's dedicate this episode, friend, like we always do. So hands over your hearts, everyone. To our patrons, always and forever, thank you so much for your continued support. If you are not a patron, you guys feel free to follow us on Patreon and support our business. We really love doing this podcast, and we really depend on your support and you sharing the podcast. So go on over to Patreon and join if you have not. We've got lots of bonus content. Also, I wanted to dedicate this episode to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. The Imagination Library is dedicated to inspiring a love for reading and gifting books free of charge to children from birth to the age of 5 through funding shared by Dolly Parton and the local community partners in the U.S., Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, and the Republic of Ireland. Inspired by her father's inability to read and write, Dolly started her Imagination Library in 1995 for children within her home county in Tennessee, and today her program spans 5 countries and gives over 2 million free books each month to children around the world. I was like, I wonder if we have one here in Indy, and we do. So our state does fund it. So if you go to indy.gov, you can find the Imagination Library, and it's all over the states and obviously in a few other countries. So guys, if you are hearing this podcast, there's a good chance that maybe they have that program. So reach out. I'll leave those things in the link too for you guys to look into. So that's it for me, friend. That was long, but what about you?
Yes, I'm a big fan of libraries, seeing as how we host a literacy podcast. And I think I want to dedicate this episode to the rain.
Let's go.
A lot of people blame stuff on the rain. I would like to give credit to the rain for kind of washing out a lot of events this week that would have made an already very busy week even busier. And also a dedication to my grandmother and really all the ancestors. But really, we had her 94th birthday celebration today, and it was just really beautiful. Wow. And it's so many inspiring things. The book was inspiring, her life and journey has been inspiring, so many things. So dedication over.
that feels good. I love starting off like that.
Yeah.
That was great.
It's great.
Excellent. Okay. So you guys, let me give you a little bit of the stats on this book. Dolly's book was published October 17th of 2023. The book itself is about 337 pages. If you listen to the audiobook, which was a treat, it's 4 hours and 21 minutes, and it's narrated by Dolly, a lady named Holly George Warren, and then a contributor, Rebecca Seaver, who is a curator and helped her kind of get everything together for this book and her collection of all her stuffs. And the book itself is like a coffee table book.
Yes.
Agreed, yeah.
So many beautiful pictures.
My
so
God.
that's why I checked out the digital copy and the audiobook so that I'd have both.
Okay, that was smart.
Yeah.
Thinking, I like it.
Yeah.
So it was really dope. So I honestly, I feel like that's the way to do it too, because even if you don't buy the book, you can check it out at the library so you can see all of the pictures and stuff, because that is dope. But if you listen to the audiobook, you get her voice, which is just, her voice is so cute, and you get to hear her singing a little because she has songs in transition.
It was produced so well. I really like, because we listened to a lot of books, and this one was
good.
very unique, which is apropos because Dolly does things her own way.
Dolly is Dolly, honey.
So it was like a series of essays, but they were like interview. It was very much like reading an interview in like a magazine.
Yeah, it was.
But really fun, and I also, because of her Tennessee accent, it was just very close to my heart, having so many relatives from Tennessee. So the way that they say certain like phrases and words, it was just very familiar and heartwarming. So I loved it.
Dolly.
But I have a little bit about Dolly herself, because what a fascinating person and one hell of a life. Okay, so she was born January 19th, 1946 in a one-room cabin on the banks of Little Pigeon River in Pittman Carter, Tennessee. You don't know where that is. Or Pittman Center, Tennessee. And she's the fourth of 12 children.
Woo.
Yeah, buddy. And with a career spanning over 50 years, Dolly Parton has been described as a country legend and has sold more than 100 million records worldwide, making her one of the best-selling music artists of all time. She's a singer, songwriter, actress, and philanthropist. And she's also had like 11 Grammys. She's won 11 Grammys out of 50 nominations, including a Lifetime Achievement Award. And she wrote "And I Will Always Love You."
And y'all, everybody knows that song.
Yeah. Like it's really kind of crazy when you go through her life and it's like, man, she's just.
It's crazy. It is. It's absolutely crazy. And it's funny too, because I mean, I've been around long enough to remember some of like her more iconic moments, because we were kind of flipping through some of the images in her book, and you know, it was like you were like, oh, I remember this from when she was doing this thing where she was married to, what was it,
Hulk Hogan.
I'm like, I don't remember that, but yeah, that sounds like something I would have enjoyed. Yeah. And then just her linking up with Miss Piggy, you know, we're big Muppet fans, that kind of stuff.
I love that.
And I don't know, every time I would see Dolly Parton, there's just this warmness and relatability that emanates from her. Like you just feel that, and I don't know, like it grabs you a little bit. Because even though I didn't necessarily like grow up hearing like her music played in my house, I always liked her music though. You know, like when I would hear it, because she's almost like a cartoon character.
She's so deeply talented. Like
And
I said,
she's
like
good.
she's got the personality, but she
she's
also really does
good.
have like the chops.
She
And
does.
the acting chops. I
Yeah.
thought it was very interesting because she's also, I mean, we didn't do it in the bio, but like she was also acting in like major motion pictures. Actually, I've never seen The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. I kind of want to go back and watch it now.
I don't think I have, or if I did, it was so long ago. I don't
Was it a
remember.
musical?
I don't know.
That would be
Sounds
cool.
like it would be.
It does. I think
way.
I would enjoy that. But I do remember her being in a little movie called Still Magnolias.
My God. Such a good movie.
She was talking about it in the book about how the director didn't want her for the role and didn't want Julia Roberts. Who is the director for Still Magnolias? He kind of
don't
sounds like a
know.
drip.
But I also had that note, and I want to say I quoted him because I couldn't get over it.
We're calling her she wasn't a real actress. And she's
Yes.
like, well, then you're not a real director if you can't get me to
She was like, well, if you're a real director, then you'll make me look like a real actress.
actress.
Boom,
Hoe
I said,
ass
first of
nigga.
all,
Like,
yeah,
like you're not
Don't come for
you're
me.
not
I
setting
didn't
me
send
up
for
for
you.
success. You're trying to get me to quit. I
Right.
know these tactics. It's not going to work.
I like that about her. Dolly, I love it.
Sing it for him.
Listen, right, play him a song, okay? Play this nigga a song.
But no, she was so amazing in that movie, because she was saying too, like if she had made it in music, she probably would have been a beautician, which is so funny to me because I'm like, I think I mentioned this in the last episode, this light, I feel like that influenced me to go into doing hair because I was just like, she was such a role model to me, especially that sort of, like she said, she's just a child at heart. I don't know if you know this about me, I am very childish. So it's because even while I was like reading this, I was trying to decide which is my favorite art form, because it's always like neck and neck between cartoons and fashion, which is why I think I love Jim so much, because it was like a perfect combination of the two. But since she is like a cartoon character, it was like a nice little mashup.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. And I think about like just where she came from. So like she grew up in Tennessee, in rural Tennessee.
In the Smoky Mountains.
In the Smoky Mountains, one of 12 kids. And,
in a one-room cabin.
I was super fascinated by the fact that, like she was saying, like her dad was, illiterate, could not read, but like how he was just one of the smartest people she knew. He was good, managing money, just very bright and stuff like that. And so, growing up in a rural area like that, that it's very conservative. And so for her to have a just innate sort of like, I don't know, attraction to fashion and like wanting to be fancy and like stand out in a place where like that's not necessarily the vibe. That takes a lot, like to be that young and to go after it, like to the point where she would use, I love the pictures in the book where they had like her little makeup kit with these feathers and matches, like she'd light matches and use the matches so where she could put like eyeliner on or smush up berries.
And she had the stuff to dye her lips
and cheeks and stuff like that. And and just the backlash she would get from that. And then how much you have to, like whether it's a butt whooping or just being chastised or, whatever, fussed at, you have to feel pretty strongly about that. And how she never, no matter throughout her career, the through line was like, even when people questioned like why she was the way she was as far as how she wanted to present herself, she was like, this is me. Well, this is me. And I love that she never faltered from that.
Exactly, because there was a lot of people who tried to get her to. Because they were just like, look, you got a great voice, but your style, boom. We want you to look more sophisticated. No one's going to take you seriously. And she was like, pass.
Yeah.
Like every time someone tried to give her that note, and obviously that was the right move. She would have just blended into the rest of the noise if she hadn't stood out and just really and she's a joy to watch. That's the thing. Cute. It's like, it's so genuine. Even the outlandish stuff, you can tell she owns it. And I think the last part of the book, and she's talking about like, to thine own self be true. And she couldn't figure out if it was in the Bible or not.
It's so not. Cute. It's not.
It's not. Shakespeare? It's Shakespeare. It's Hamlet.
Okay.
And I think Polonius said it. Just like, no, listen to yourself. You know yourself. It was such a great
only thing you
pep
can know.
Yeah, she was like, you know what you like. Like, you just. I was like, Dolly, you making a lot of sense, girl.
It was so refreshing. And then too, so that's something that she had from the time that she was young throughout her whole career, and I think it served her. And I think the authenticity of. For one, she did say don't play yourself too, because you're talking about the end of the book. You jumped to the end.
I did.
She did say too at the end, she was like, you have to, in and of that, you have to understand like where your talent lies too. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to know what your limits are. You know what I'm saying? You have to know what your talents are. You have to know where, maybe your charisma and talent meet up. So like maybe if you don't have all the talent, you have the charisma, how do you work that? And so just really being able to have those sort of honest conversations with yourself about who you are, what you bring to the table, and how you can leverage that for yourself. Like that's the kind of stuff I'm always talking to my kids about. Yeah. I just feel like those are great
I could have
lessons.
tried my hardest to become a singer.
You could have.
But that wouldn't have been a good use of anyone's time. I mean, I could have kept trying and trying and trying and trying and trying. You can spend all the money you want. You can get all the vocal coaches and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I have the voice of a podcaster and not a singer.
And that's okay.
It is.
You need to know that about yourself. Yeah. And I think too, that's the point. Like if you know where the strength in your voice, relies, I mean, for this analogy or whatever, then it's like that's where you should be spending your time. That's where you should be spending your efforts. And I think partly because she knew she had the talent, she was like, yo, I know I can
well,
sing
and I
too,
like that too, because when she was talking about like other opportunities, she wanted to nail like the singing and songwriting first before she branched out, because she was a very ambitious person.
Oh my goodness.
I think we drew the parallel to Miss Pat.
We did
earlier.
It was so funny, and I know that seems like a wild comparison to make, like if you're just seeing them, but because of their humble backgrounds and because of the innate talent that they possess and their ability to utilize their own selves, their own charisma, their own talent, and like unapologetically show up as themselves, and people are like, I need
and
more.
Their titty game is bananas.
And titty game is out here. Okay, that part. Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but yes, when you said that, it was like.
But actually,
yes.
Having read, this isn't really an autobiography for real, but it is autobiographical,
right?
So, and then having read Miss Pat's autobiography, you do see the parallels. Like there's the rural upbringing, kind of coming out of poverty, really believing in yourself.
Yeah.
Taking in a bunch of people's kids.
Yeah.
Like, cause she was saying too, like she had a bunch of people, like her, like family members, like move with her so they could go to school in a better district, basically, and stuff like that. So, and and then that constant ambition.
Yeah.
Like that go. Cause I definitely don't. I like naps too much.
Well, the nonstop like creativity, like she just feels like, she was like, I've just always had songs, like I've always just been able to sit down and write, and these stories come to me, but probably because she's having such a, she has to, if you're that in tune with yourself, I do feel like, the way that you look at the world, maybe the way that you observe certain things, it probably like, even though I didn't grow up in the same way that she did, like the stories that she tells are relatable, because it's like, you know what I mean?
Well,
she can tap into that
like
in a genuine way.
Dressing up and stuff like that, that heavy Barbie energy.
My God.
Called herself Backwoods Barbie.
It's so cute. And had a whole song, because yes, hello.
And why not?
They didn't have one of those. So she was like, that's what I am though. So I just love that. And she's like this tiny little lady too. Like I didn't realize how, she never looked giant or anything, but because she's larger than life,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you don't picture her being
all the time when you see them in real life.
Yeah,
you're
like,
like,
she's a
oh
little,
my God, you just turned
a little tiny little person. But yeah, it just was really cool. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, so the book is laid out into 10 chapters. The first chapter obviously is talking about her, her upbringing. Let's see, anything else from that. Did you ever hear Coat of Many Colors? She talked about this being like one of her favorite songs. I don't remember hearing this song growing up. Obviously, I heard it listening to the book or whatever.
We used to go to like Opry Land. Like,
straight up. Have you ever been to Dolly World?
Haven't. I always wanted to so bad. It's not really, because she talked about like moving to Nashville. Because like I said, my family is, because she talked about Antioch. Like she bought a house in Antioch, and that's where my family is from. So it's kind of out of the way.
Okay.
So we would go to, I think actually, I don't even know if Opry Land is there anymore. I think they might have just turned it into something else.
Okay.
But no, never made it to Dollywood. Also, I don't like amusement parks. Sorry, I'm not fun. I know I seem fun because I'm all bubbly and stuff. Not that fun.
Yeah, that's whack.
Actually, I'm actually super fun because I'll go to an amusement park, but I'm not getting
Will you
on
hurt my
anything.
purse?
I will hold your purse.
Yay!
You do not have to rent a locker.
Woohoo!
I'll wait in line with you. I like
what's up.
people watching.
You
I
just
like
climb across and then
I sure do. I like greasy food. So there's some aspects.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, like there's some aspects of amusement parks I get, but I don't
Just
like
not the
rides.
rides.
I'm not doing any of that.
Okay, that's cool.
And
That's
actually, I'd rather just stay home.
But you will come home a person. You just said that. Okay, cool. All right, but no. So one more note I wanted to say too, because in the first chapter she is talking about how she got her style or what inspired her style, and I thought this was a hilarious story, where she's like, I saw this lady. Like we were out and I saw this lady, and she was the most beautiful person I'd ever seen in my life. She had this bleach blonde hair, peroxided hair,
The red nails,
the lipstick, and like the tight clothes, the short skirt. She was like, I want to be that. And her mom was like, she is the town tramp. She's trash, is how she described it. And she was like, that's what I want to be.
It's like, but I like it though. It's like it was giving a Jezebel spirit.
Well, and then the thing that's crazy to me is that, like, you know, she was like, I didn't even think that was an insult because I didn't know what that meant. I just thought that described her style. And I knew that that's what I wanted. And she was like, and it was never for anybody else. You know, people always was
assumed
like,
I was trying to be fast.
She was like,
nah,
it was,
I just like, this is my shit.
I like this. And so she was like, to now be like revered as this fashion icon when I built my whole shit off of somebody who was considered like tacky or trashy. She was like, because I'm not a fashionista. Like, I like what I like.
I just like what I like.
And
I don't have to have brand names or anything like that.
Because I'm the brand.
She, she would say this a lot of times. She's like, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap.
Listen, it's so cute, and her humor and stuff too. It's just super cute.
Because one of her little jokes too, because they were asking her, it's like, do you get insulted by dumb blonde jokes? Mm-hmm. And she was like, no, because I know I'm not dumb. She's like, I also know I'm not blonde.
And this is why we love her.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
she just had killers.
She doesn't take herself so seriously, and you can just Dolly is
I loved the people because they interviewed people who've worked with her for the book too, which was really cool. And one of the things that really struck me, they were like, and all the time I've worked with her, I've never seen her lose her cool.
Yeah,
and it's
that's
like
impressive.
Very. I'm like, because
I lost my cool. Y'all got to go back to the Patreon.
It's a very easy thing to do. You know what I mean? Just to be that constantly. But like you pointed out before too, though, she doesn't have any kids. Like you are able to have a certain amount of energy for things when it's not going to that. Not saying that, like I said, because there's plenty of people who are childless who still lose their cool or whatever.
Absolutely.
But like,
you're saying it doesn't not help. You know what I'm saying? Like there could be some of that energy that she's not using for that she can muster up to be cool. And in those situations
she got married like really young, like right. I think that's an important thing not to get married young, but to maybe find your person before you become famous.
You know, okay, before you're famous. Okay, I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but probably. I think that does help. Yeah. Because you don't ever know, like, what's the intention here. Yeah. Like, is it for Dolly, you know?
But it sounds like as soon as she arrived in town, somebody was like, yep,
that's me right there. And she was like, okay.
Didn't take a minute. She was like, got wifed up.
Yes, and been with that man and they're still together.
Yes, and they still together. And it's so funny, too, because he's so not glamour, which is...
It's always like that.
And it's probably for the best. It is. Like I said, because, like, if you had tried to find somebody, like, after you had popped, you probably would have gotten more of a preening sort of.
And they're right there with you trying to be in every picture. Not that there's anything wrong with you wanting to be in pictures. Don't get me wrong, guys. But, you know, there's a difference between you, like, standing with somebody to be with them versus, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get my...
Right, trying to, like,
you know what I mean? I'm sexy flexy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so that made me happy.
Yeah, it's really cute. So it was fun to hear her talking about that, too, because she definitely was like, yo, I tried to get him dressed. I think he dressed up for one event.
One time. He was like, don't air ass.
Please don't. Please. He was like, you can, like, I get it, because you're Dolly. I've seen it. I know. And you do you, boo.
And I like the story where she made him dress up at the house one time to take a picture with her, and he didn't even go anywhere. She was just like, I just thought he looked so handsome. It's so cute.
It's just adorable. I love them. I love them. I love them. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay. So in chapter 6, she was talking about it was called Daisy Mae in Hollywood. So this is when her career really started. You know, she started popping and being more popular and stuff like that, mainstream. And I thought it was funny that she was telling the story that SNL was one of the hardest jobs that she's ever done.
That was interesting.
Because that's the word on the street, like, live.
And she was saying the costume changes. Like, that was what was like.
She doesn't do that. She was like, I will change twice. Like, I'll come out in my outfit. I'm whatever. I'm doing my thing. Intermission, I'll change. And then if I do an encore at the end, you know, maybe I'm adding a skirt or a sleeveless vest or, you know, like some kind of accessory, but I'm not like changing. I'm not Beyonce. I kind of want to
watch that episode. I want to look that up.
Oh my God.
And she performed too.
Right. And it was crazy too because she had a new designer that was helping her. And she was like, right before she was supposed to go on, the zipper popped off. And he was having to sew her in her pants. And actually I might be getting this mixed up with another story, but this was funny to me that he was like sewing her pants on her. And she was like, man, these pants so tight. If I fart, my wig's gonna fly off my head. And he was like,
you crazy
for her
girl.
To be that cool in that moment. He was like, you don't know how many times I've worked with people where they're
like
losing their shit.
Yeah, he's like,
She's
there's
still
not
making
an
a joke.
ounce of diva in her.
And I mean, not like you're not allowed to have moments where you lose your cool or be frustrated in the moment, but like it is really impressive for somebody to be under that pressure and not make the person who, because they're under pressure too. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make you look good. I think that she always valued the people who were helping her do her job because it meant so much to her. So instead of shitting on this person, or being like, saying something, she just tries to let the air out of the situation. Because at the end of the day, she's like, bitch, I'm living my dreams.
Right.
Okay. Like,
she's like, there's no point in bitching about it now.
Yeah, I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm out here.
I'm glad you brought up designers, because I was really looking forward to her when she was talking about Bob Mackie. Because I
talked about him.
love Bob. I mean, it's just 80s fabulousness. And I didn't even realize that he had designed Marilyn Monroe's dress for that Happy Birthday, Mr. President thing. I didn't know that was, I knew she had to be sewn into the dress right before the thing, but I didn't know that was a Bob Mackie. So for people who don't know, these like Cher, Diana Ross, like,
because we've talked about him before. He came up.
Yes, like, and then I remember too, they used to have the Bob Mackie Barbies, where like collectors are. It was just 80s, the sequins, the beading. It was just so amazing. I just always, whenever you hear Bob Mackie, I'm like, let me see that gown.
And then too, so we're talking about high fashion like Bob Mackie, but she also never shied away from, using pieces that weren't necessarily name brand and then like elevating them.
One of the dudes said they would get pieces from the child's department at Target.
Listen,
and punch them up.
Walmart, let's go.
Yeah. Fashion
so,
can be found anywhere, even at a vintage store. I think I paid $8 for this dress.
And it looks fabulous.
Thank you.
It's a whole vibe, So I do like that she says that too, because she doesn't get caught up. She was like, hell, I don't know the difference between diamonds and rhinestones, and I like them both. And
Dolly, me, you, same.
Like
that was the thing too.
Things.
I'm like that because she was talking about being nervous when they'd be lent out for like the Oscars and stuff, and she'd be like, "Get this off of me. This is too much pressure." It's like, you know how quickly I lose stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that kind of pressure. And like I said, I just like shining.
Why did that just remind me of the Great Muppet Caper?
You should
when Lady
have.
Holiday's
She
necklace
was
got stolen.
My jewels.
My jewels.
He was like, she's like, I feel like thieves are bringing down my neck. He's like, the thieves are bringing down your neck.
It was just so silly.
Oh,
Anywho,
gosh.
so she was right
the
to be
Muppets.
nervous. Right to be nervous. Just another ode to the professionalism that other people paid to her. Like they were talking about Steel Magnolias and how they were, it was in Louisiana, and it was so hot. I don't know if y'all have ever been to Louisiana. I've been in July, and it was so. It was unbelievable.
I want to take up the challenge because you know me, I'm cold right now. So
we're gonna have to go. Essence is always in July.
The Essence Festival. Can we go when there's like less people?
Okay. We can go.
Okay.
But listen, it was so hot there, and to hear them talk about how everybody had on, they were doing that Christmas scene where they had the Christmas outfits and sweaters and all that on. Everybody was dying, and they were like, and Dolly was like,
"Girl, what you on?" She's like, "Listen, I didn't grow up with air conditioning. I don't know what y'all
she was like,
about.
I grew up in Tennessee.
I remember
know
even when I was watching the movie thinking, I'm like, does it get cold enough there for those sweaters? Because they were, I mean, I knew it was Christmas time, but it was like, it's still the South. So, to have on like a turtleneck sweater.
And whose choice was that? Y'all didn't even need to do that.
Probably not.
Yeah, y'all didn't need to do that. But the fact that she didn't complain, they were like, yo, how are you doing this? And she had on a face full of makeup.
And that wig.
Oh,
the wig.
Have we
talked about the wigs?
We've talked, no, we haven't talked about the wigs, but we definitely talked about her
the
titties.
schmitties. Yeah.
Them gritties was sitting pretty in that hot sweater.
And from what I understand, I don't have any, but I've heard they're hot.
They can be hot.
Yeah.
I've had them for a little while.
I've never had them for a little while. People talk about under boob sweat.
Oh yeah, it goes down, and it's not comfortable. So yeah, that I was like, okay, so Dolly she's a consummate professional. I thought that was really cool. You already said the Bob Mackie thing. I got that in my notes too.
Cool.
Let's see, what else was there, man? I don't even know what else. I mean, the heels and stuff, the custom made outfits. That was a thing. Like I didn't really. She wears a size 5.
She's so
what
little.
Real woman, what real person, little bitty feet like that, she gets her shoes custom made. because she can't really buy them off the rack, because she still wears these super high heels, and she was like, the only reason
Yup.
why I can is because they are custom made
And
for
it
my
does
feet.
matter.
Yeah, it super matters.
Yeah.
So
get some leather soles.
Man, get leather
It
soles and get a
matters.
cobbler to cobble you some shoes.
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna wear heels all your life. But just, I mean, if we're talking about the fashion and stuff like that, I mean, the book has so many of her like just beautiful costumes and, you know, a lot of her stuff. What do you think about Dolly's style in general, though? Like, do you tend to like
I
her
always
costumes and
loved
stuff
it.
like that?
That's why I would always be so excited if they said, you know, Dolly Parton was going to be on something, because it's like, oh, she's going to be giving us looks.
It's like, we know it's gonna be fabulous. Yeah.
Oh, also, we haven't brought up the fact that she's, you know, got a song, like she's featured in Beyonce's new album, Cowboy Carter.
This is the whole reason why we're talking about this.
Pretty
Let's be for real.
much.
Because
Pretty
not that I
much.
wouldn't have visited this book, but it reminded me why I love Dolly and always have anyway. You know what I'm
But you
saying?
can
So,
see why that there's a lot of parallels there, because Beyonce also, same thing, there's the big blonde
My
hair.
God.
The constant looks, like to the
fashion.
nails, the hair. You're never going to catch her slipping.
You're just not. And I love it too. So like, would you love this though? Because like, let's talk about it. I saw you earlier this week, came to your job. You were doing my daughter's hair. And, you know, one of my daughter's least favorite looks that I have is my work clothes. And, you know, I wear scrubs, and I have a surgery scrub cap that this lovely lady on Etsy made that is silk lined, that I love super hard. It has little buttons on the side for my mask. And, you know, whether my hair is done or not, like, it's just, it's nice. It matches the outfit, whatever. And I like it because it takes the pressure off of me having to actually do my hair if I don't feel like it or whatever. And we were at the shop, and I don't know how it was like, you know, my daughter asked me, was my hair still like it is right now if you're watching this? You know, I have curls. Actually, I have big curls for Dolly today. But she was asking me, and I'm like, yeah, it's still like that. And she was like, take it off. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it off, actually. And so I take it off, and then I have another bonnet under it. Dolly would die.
That was quite the reveal.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, you have double bonnets.
She would,
like that's
she
how
might
I
have a
live my
wig under
life.
a wig, but it's never going to be bonnets
It's
on
not gonna
bonnets.
be bonnets on bonnets. And that's how I live my life, you know what I'm saying, my everyday life. So I can't imagine, you know, 'cause she even said like, because of like when she's in California and New York, she sleeps with her wig right there on the lamppost. And
Yeah, in case she's got to
makeup.
go
She
out.
sleeps with her makeup on because she was like, y'all not gonna catch me on Channel 6 News looking a hot mess.
And
Talking about
that
here go
made
Dolly.
me think of an anecdote. Beyonce talked about how she would always keep like the big oversized glasses and like heels in her purse in case there would be paparazzi when she was out, so that she could just look glamorous instantly.
2 seconds.
But like in real life, sometimes it's like it's a lot of work.
It is, but I get it, you know, because this is, I mean, it's her brand. You know,
I
her
get
brand is
giving
just
up.
as much. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have never had to keep this level of glam up. But at the same time, too, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna draw my eyebrows on before I leave. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Okay.
going to, there's just certain stuff I'm gonna do too if I'm going out, if I'm going somewhere. So
Okay, I love this picture of RuPaul because this reminded me a lot of, because I think I mentioned this on the Patreon about how a lot of her energy reminds me of a drag queen.
you have said that.
And it reminds me of this quote I heard from RuPaul where he said, everyone is born naked, everything else is drag. So just that idea of what you choose to put on yourself is, I mean, it's political. It's been politicized because, like I said,
true.
I love how her thing was like, I don't care what y'all do as long as I can do what I want to do. So for
Amen.
people who are like, because there is a kind of push right now in our country where they're trying to outlaw drag shows, basically, which is so dumb. Where it's just kind of like, okay, what do you care? What, like, it's or like, I don't know. Trying
feel
to
that.
vilify drag queens like they're the
Yeah.
ones doing all the molesting when it's clearly Dan Schneider.
And then what?
And
We
his
found
and
that
his
out.
clothes are terrible.
Yeah, he looks a mess. Maybe he should wear a dress.
Yeah, I feel like generally people who are living the lives that they want to live, they just seem to be less abusive to me, generally. I don't know.
Well, I just love that she encourages that, and she does seem very open, and like diversity is a big thing for her. You know, she just seems like a really open and genuine person, like, and a lot of fun. And I do think too that what I like that she symbolizes on top of just her super fabulousness and just living and breathing the essence of who you are and being unapologetic in that is that, you know, women can exist in a space of, you know, not being a mom, like a biological mom, but you can birth so many things. You know, you think about her philanthropic endeavors, you think about all of the jobs that she's created for people just around helping her be Dolly, you know, from her theme park to her acting to, I mean, she just, I don't know, like, I just think in a lot of ways, you know, she brings that still motherly, feminine
she got
energy
them cake
everywhere
mixes
she
too,
goes. You know what I'm
which
saying?
was fire, by the way. I did actually get one and had my daughter make it, and it was fantastic.
Really?
Mhm. We had some yellow
let's
cake,
go.
and here's my thing: how
Yeah,
I
I
like to
love
do like cakes. I'll get a box cake, but I'll make the frosting from scratch, like a real buttercream icing.
So it's like getting the Walmart piece and punching it up with those
exactly
with those fancy rhinestones.
Semi-homemade.
Gotta
And then
do it.
even with the cake mix, you add an extra egg
Still be good.
and use
Okay.
milk instead of water.
Oh yeah, that's always the move with
Yeah,
box stuff.
I just
that calls
letting
for
the
water.
people.
Yeah.
Now, just as I was told and
Yes.
put on game, now I give that
And
to you.
And I'm validating that. I'm
Yes,
seconding that
co-sign.
emotion.
It's like
I'm
yes,
co-signing on that.
and then don't overcook it.
Yeah,
like
don't do that.
that's the biggest.
Quinta.
that's-
That was so cute and funny. Don't do that.
That was, but
my
like,
gosh.
yeah.
But yeah, so I just really loved that sort of like representation of a woman who has a career and who is living her dreams. Like she has gotten over the years to live her dream and live her purpose and bring people in. And she's no less a woman because she's not a mom. So for anybody out there who is birthing your career or, you know, like your fashion is your passion or whatever your passion is, if it doesn't revolve specifically around like childbearing, you're still valuable. And I think she's a really great example of that too, especially when you have a concentrated passion for something, like especially when you have a vision for yourself.
Yeah.
And I just love that because I just don't feel like that gets highlighted enough. So
I also want to bring up, so even though she's not technically a part of the Star Trek universe, she kind of is a little bit because she was on an episode of Orville, which is kind of a Star Trek spinoff, but not officially.
okay.
It's Seth MacFarlane's version of Star Trek.
Is
The
it a
Next
musical?
Generation. No, it's a series on Fox.
I just associate him with songs.
Fair. But because he is a very musical guy,
He is.
one of the alien races, they outlawed women, basically. So if any, for real,
Okay.
yeah, like Bortus,
Good
like
luck.
his people, they basically, if any of their people are born a woman, they have sexual reassignment surgery. And so there were people in that society who like went off to live in the mountains who would let women live. And
wow.
and one of them, she's studying Earth culture, and she comes across Dolly Parton and is expired and uses 9 to 5. And then they do like a holodeck kind of thing, and Dolly Parton was like on the episode.
Oh, how
And
cute.
I called my cousin, and we were kind of like just screaming at each other, like we were pretty
my.
dang on excited.
You guys are big dorks,
Because it
but
was
that's
such,
super
I
cute.
love a good mashup, and to me that was Star Trek, even though it was an official Star Trek. But
Right. It was Star Trek adjacent.
I felt like it was more Star Trek than a lot of the newer Star Trek. It
Okay.
like really got into the heart of what Star Trek what was supposed to be about, which is commentary about the dumb stuff humans do.
Okay.
So
Oh my gosh, Dolly, see? She just
yeah.
fits everywhere. It doesn't even matter.
it doesn't even matter. But like every time I start hearing that, dun, 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 pour myself a cup of ambition. Have you ever seen 9 to 5?
No, I don't remember.
I don't think I ever saw it. We should.
I remember the song. We might have to have a Dolly day.
We should have
Just
a Dolly
watching
day.
Dolly movies. I would like that.
I
When
would
can we
too.
do this?
Never. Like we barely had time to record this, you guys.
It's so true.
We can stop recording the podcast and just watch some movies.
But you know what's dope though is that we're saying the words, so we have this documented, so we can always go back and be true to ourselves when we
That's
have time.
true.
Because I did tell your mom today, sidebar at the party, that my hope for our retirement is that we get to spend a lot of time together. So like on Wednesdays we can do like our little spin class together, and then like Fridays we can go to our
Well,
I don't
that's
fucking
what
know, do
her
our
and
lunches and
my
stuff.
aunt, like that's what they do every evening is like they just sit and watch stuff.
Yeah, like I want to do that with my girlfriends. I want our
Yes.
little group to have like stuff that we do during
Cheers
the week.
to that. Ding.
So
Yes,
I want to do
that's the
that.
goal.
So that is the goal. But anywho, let's get into the hair though, friends.
Yeah, here you come again.
Because we're about the hair.
Because I love, that was just such a big part of it. Like she said, back in those days to be country, you had to have the big hair and a Cadillac.
Let's go.
And she had it.
She had them both.
She had them both. So, I mean, you can't really have fashion without hair.
I mean, I would argue like the hair, like I love to hear her talk about how when she's being like, so she got into the wigs because like a lot of performers, like you do have to have like at a certain point, especially with her, how light her hair is. Cause she says she's more of a dirty blonde. So her hair isn't like super, super blonde, like how she wears it. That is taxing on your hair. You're a professional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
hair,
like all that all the time.
Yeah,
to me,
so-
this is like this wig right here. I'll
She's
try
so
to throw it up
pretty.
later. But like this to me was like what I think of when I
Quintessential
think
Dolly.
of Dolly Parton. And
Mhm.
even just how they had it too. So you don't even need a part. You can just throw that thing on there.
Mhm,
And she even
curls.
said too she preferred synthetic hair because the curls would keep longer.
Stay, yeah.
And then her one wig maker who was talking about like don't ever put a wig in the dryer. It's
Girl,
so
not
funny.
the
Have I
dryer.
done that?
Have
Yes.
you? Really?
Yes. That's
Did
why
it
I would.
work?
No.
Oh.
No, she was right. Don't do it.
It turned into a ball
You end up
of hair.
Well, I think she did it with synthetic hair. I did it with human hair. It still wasn't great.
Okay.
Because it takes a long time to dry, so you're just like, okay, let me put a pillowcase to see what happens.
Wow.
It's not great. So
Okay.
you
All right.
just have to
Gotta buy a
take your
hooded
time.
dryer.
Yeah, like taking shortcuts. That is usually
The
the
thing.
result.
Gotta
So,
learn the hard way.
But yeah,
But yeah, you have to do that to protect your hair. I think that's why a lot of performers in general definitely wear wigs. I know for Black women a lot of the time too, it's just for continuity. People don't always know how to do your hair. So it's like, let me just throw this wig on so that if if it gets ruined, it's not my natural hair.
yeah.
So yeah, just to protect her hair and stuff like that.
And
But
this is like not a side dedication, but I listened to Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the chick who did Elaine on Seinfeld,
like
her
her.
podcast, Wiser Than Me, and she was interviewing Beverly Johnson.
ooh, she's beautiful. Lady.
She is,
lady.
and they were talking about like the whole hair thing, and so because Julia was saying like when she was doing a production one time, she like felt bad because she didn't realize one of the actresses on her show like had to bring in somebody herself to be, because like she just assumed
She never had that.
because she
never had
just
to do
assumed the
that?
hairdresser would be able to do everyone's hair, and that's just not the case. And also, shout out to Beverly Johnson too for being outspoken about what Bill Cosby did to her, because she was one
was
of
she
the.
on there talking about that too?
She was like, I'll
On
talk.
Elaine show?
Yeah,
I mean, not Elaine. You just said that lady's name.
Julia.
Wait. No, let me try.
There's two more names.
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
There you go.
Okay. Now.
Well, why don't we go to a break?
Okay. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, guys.
Oh yeah.
Did I catch you off guard there?
You always do, but I like it.
Okay.
So who do you think would like this book?
I think anybody who enjoys Dolly, but also like if you're a country music fan, obviously you like this. But if you just are into genuine women who are living in their purpose and unapologetically themselves, her story is super compelling, you know. So
do you think straight men would like this book?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so
No.
either. It's very,
No.
very girly.
Yeah.
It's pink. Even the book covers
Yeah,
pink. Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very, I think if you're really in touch with your femme energy, this
then
will
you could be
speak to you
cool.
more.
Yeah.
Actually, what I would suggest for people who might want to learn more about Dolly, but don't necessarily want to get into a girl fest, they have a really interesting drunk history.
Oh,
About
really?
her,
I
and
didn't
so
know
that's
this.
it's maybe only about 15 minutes long. It's about how she came to write "And I Will Always Love You" because she was talking about how she did the
Oh.
Porter show with Porter. What's his name?
Forgot.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of like how she got her big break or whatever.
It was a
And
syndicated show.
they
She
kind
was
of
the
had
female singer.
and they kind of had a little rocky kind of not breakup, but professional breakup.
Well, I think it was one of those things where she was stifling her personal style to be a part of the show, and she only wanted to do it for 5 years, did it for 7. And, it was a popular show. So, like, her leaving kind of, and I think she even felt like, damn, I don't want to leave him
In a lurch.
but also.
It's not my
this
job
isn't
to prop up your career.
Nope. and this is my journey, and I know I'm meant to be a solo artist, and I'm meant to be on my own. So yeah, and good for you,
And
girl.
I will always love you.
And I will always love you.
And
okay?
but I won't spoil it because it's actually a really great story. But that'll probably be more consumable.
Okay, I can see
than
that.
this. But yeah, I want to.
Yeah, the straight men would hate this a lot. Because I mean, and especially because it's centered around fashion, and you know there are some straight men who really do love fashion, but I just think this is.
Ooh, are you ready to give me your like top 5 designers?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, I think I've said in the past, like Bob Mackie definitely is one because, like, he's just so iconic. Like everything that's beautiful and fancy that I can think of, like in the past, that just caught my eye was like a Bob Mackie kind of situation. You know, so definitely not for every day, but like in my mind, twice a year, I think it'd be like that's the perfect amount of times to get like super glam.
Okay.
Hair, makeup, the whole thing. So I hope that for us, like maybe twice a year, we get to just be. Because imagine having somebody bespoke outfits. Like we kind of talked about this a little when we did Andre and Leon Talley's book, because it revolves so much around fashion. And as much as there's a part of me that loves that super over the top stuff, I like simple, clean lines too. I like, you know, things that are tailored and fit, you know.
Some haute couture.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just, you know, it's crazy how I feel like I love fashion, but I also, it's not like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Like I'm not
Well, it's
like
a whole job. Like even for
like,
Dolly to make this happen, she had to have a team.
But I would love that. Like I think about that. I'm like, damn, I would actually love it if part of my life revolved around just like styling myself, because it is what I do on a small scale, but I don't have the budget or the time to really get into it.
Yeah, to go
But
ham.
if I did,
Man.
y'all would be sick of me.
Like if I had a team that was just like, here,
my
we pulled
lounge
these
clothes
pieces.
would be fancy. Like I'm
Yeah.
that bitch. Understand me. Like if
Like
it,
I like the little marabou little slippers and stuff.
why do my chilling clothes got to be ugly?
They shouldn't be.
I want them to be comfortable and cute. In case you, like she said, you never know who's gonna pop up at your house.
Well, I mean, I'm in the house. Like I have to look at me.
And I like to look cute. Who are your top? I mean, yeah, let's go with that.
So, top 5. Okay, so if I was gonna have like, if I think like who I would want to dress me
you,
for like the best day of my life, like when we're winning the podcast awards.
Yes.
Okay, Gal Pei, who's a
that?
Chinese designer.
Okay.
Obsessed with her. She has this documentary called Yellow is Forbidden. And yeah,
Did
totally.
you send me something?
I
from
probably
her?
did. I'm a little obsessed with her.
She got fancy dresses. Yeah. Did she just do like I just saw an
So
Asian?
she made that dress for Rihanna when she went to the Met, and it was the China one where she had
was
that
pretty,
yellow.
red and- it was yellow.
Yeah, it was like a super long yellow robe thing, and underneath it was pink. It was pretty awesome.
Okay. right.
Yeah.
Say her name one more time.
Gal Pei.
Okay.
GUOPEI.
PEI?
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Ooh.
But like,
Dang.
I love her story because she was just talking about how being a fashion designer. See, they're being petty.
I see that. That's
But-
why I'm sorry. I didn't mean to suck my teeth right into the microphone,
But they were
turned into a
just about how being a fashion designer, she didn't even know that was a job because she grew up during the Communist Revolution. And part of what the communists were doing in China was they were trying to get rid of fashion.
They do.
Because it is a type of hierarchy. They were trying to get rid of hierarchies, but it was kind of a mistake. Because she was saying like women couldn't even wear makeup. It was like a
So
whole
crazy.
thing. So when they were able to kind of reclaim some of their, you know, their cultural history, and part of that's fashion. Like she was one of the first fashion students in China after the revolution. So yeah. I should probably pick an American designer. No, I'm Manolo Blahnik.
Okay.
Chanel. I'm trying to think of like recently, like really good. Like if I had to get dressed like,
Today.
yeah, like for because I have something coming up, Valentino.
Okay.
because I'm thinking
That's
like
classic.
I need to come up
That's
with like I
classic.
need a suit to wear to my son's graduation, and I would like to wear like an
Ooh.
all red Valentino.
Ooh.
That would be
You
nice.
look, oh my God, you look amazing in red for the record.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
always be so afraid to wear red.
Really?
Well,
You
because
look
of
so
gang
good in-
reasons.
Gay?
Gang.
Oh, I'm about to say, what does red mean? It's like, is that for the blood? No, I don't know.
No, I was
Sorry.
just making a bad joke.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
but I'm not afraid
You don't
of
want to
red
violate.
now.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah, and then number 5. I want to think of like a black female designer, but I can't think of one right now. That's bad.
I can't think of any. So I'll take you off the hook.
Thank you.
Was thinking about when I see certain celebrities dressed in, I'm like, oh my God, they always look so good. Whoever styles Zendaya, they could style me.
Oh, you know Ellie Saab.
Who's Ellie Saab?
That's you see Halle Berry like during her classical like kind of Hollywood period. She'd
Okay.
wear a lot of those gowns
Okay.
to the Oscars and stuff. So maybe that. But yeah, whatever. I know Zendaya. She was
Laura
model for
Roach.
Tom Ford for a while.
Tom Ford, definitely. Especially for some classic stuff. Because
Yeah.
this stuff is so, and I love stuff like that. I mean, you wouldn't even know it was.
Oh, or
whose
maybe
it
De La
was, per se.
Renta. Maybe I'll take that back. Not Ellie Saab. Maybe Oscar De La Renta.
So there goes her stylist.
Yeah.
He only does her and Celine Dion. Those are the only two. I'm retired, but these are only two. So I would ask him to come out of retirement for
there
me.
you go.
Zendaya always looks so put together and avant-garde. Like, obviously, I wouldn't be able to wear the stuff she wears, but I feel like he could tap into what I had going on.
Yeah,
and help
I
me
would.
out.
I think it'd be fun
He
to
does
have.
a good job.
Yeah.
So I like him. but-
It's just fun to play dress up,
is,
and
and I like it
I like that
too. I like it
this
too.
this book kind of gave me permission to revel in that. Where
Permission
she
to
when
fashion
she was talking
stuff.
about like she still likes playing dress up with like her nieces and nephews and
so cute.
stuff,
I love
and
it.
because that's the thing too. Like I still loved like playing Barbie with my daughter when she was still into that.
Oh my gosh, so cute, so nice.
Yeah.
I was wanting to pull up. So Dolly had a couple of. I saw a Vogue article, and she was talking about like her top 6 fashion rules or whatever. She said, "I'm not a fashion icon. I am an eyesore." Dolly Parton shares her 6 fashion rules. So let's get to them. Let's see. First, be unapologetic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. Do you
I
think
think
that
so.
rule holds
Yeah.
up? I think so too.
Because if you show any sort of like insecurity or lack of
Boom.
confidence, like that
They can sniff
shatters
it
the
out.
glamour.
It 100% does. And I know that like when I feel like I'm wearing something that's like not fitting, or I think this is going to flap up in the back, or oh, they're going to see my
Or split. You said something split one
oh
time.
my God, you guys, we were, yeah, something
Were we at the
split.
Savoy?
No. But the
Okay.
Savoy was lit. That was a good time.
Okay.
No, it was New Year's. It was one of the New Year. We actually ended up going out together. I remember I got a pencil skirt. It was like brown suede pencil skirt. It was midi length.
Oh, okay. Classy.
Okay. And this was when and it was suede.
Mm.
And then I had a bustier, like a corset. And it was like
Okay.
gold and brown and champagne colored.
Okay.
And it tied up in the back, and I had this vintage brown leather coat from my
This is
great grandmother.
starting to sound familiar.
Yes, and I was super excited about this because the skirt I spent a little money on. It was a boutique called Pataya in Broad Ripple.
I remember that.
I got the top from Forever 21 though,
Okay.
and then I had the vintage jacket, and I had those BB shoes that you bought me, bitch. I love those shoes. Oh my God, they were
Those
so beautiful.
I think those were for your engagement.
You guys,
Those
they
are pretty
were
great.
peep toe.
I remember those for sure.
Copper.
Okay, I feel like I remember this dress. So what happened?
So
or
what
this
ha-
outfit?
Listen, let me talk about these shoes. A little
Okay, I'm
more.
sorry.
I gotta finish describing them because they had
Okay.
Swarovski's crystals. Because they were what do you call them when they have the little?
Platform?
They were platforms. So like the platform had the Swarovski crystals, and the heel had the. You bought me these. And they were super uncomfortable, but they were so
didn't matter.
beautiful with the little ankle strap. So you couldn't have told me I didn't look good. I know I did. Okay, I did. And we went out. We went to. What was the one club we used to go to all the time? What's the other one?
I was just Cloud9?
Yes, girl. We went to Club. We were definitely dating ourselves with this one, but it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter where we went, but we went, and yeah, like I was dancing and stuff. And girl, my first time wearing this skirt, the seam ripped, booty cheeks out, okay. And I just remember dying laughing, like, why? We weren't even there that long. You know what I'm saying? And it was hot in there, and I had to go to the coat check, go get my coat back, and wear my leather coat the entire night because fashion woes.
Was I there?
You were there.
For New Year.
I have a picture. Don't make me pull it
I
out.
would actually like to see the picture. I'm going to actually I'm going to demand.
I'm going to find it so it can pop up.
Okay.
Yeah,
Please do that.
I'm going to locate this picture. But yeah, you were there.
I'm sorry. Let's go back to the fashion rule. Fit. I hope
but
fit
just
is on
saying
there.
the whole listen. So fit. We definitely want to fit. It says find style inspiration in the unexpected. Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that. Don't follow trends.
I'm good at that.
You know, I agree with that because it's like, you know what, stay classic and then add your own little flair.
Well, it's nice when something I like is trending.
Exactly.
That's cool, but a lot of times it's like,
Address to your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in that. You know, like that definitely does.
I'm
That does a lot of the work.
I'm tall and not busty, so yeah, I
Make
just
it
find
work.
things that make a nice long straight line.
There you go. See, and you do a great job. Know the power of wigs. Let's go. Got my extensions in right now. I mean, they're fun and it's nice. You get to change it up. When it comes to shoes, she says the higher the better. Now, I feel
higher
like
the heel, the closer to God.
Listen, I do love high heels, but I'm at a stage in life where if they're not platforms, I'm not doing it.
And if they're not custom
and if they're
made.
not, that's what I was gonna say. Like, if you want to get somebody to cobble me some custom made shoes, I will wear heels a lot more. But those were her tips. I didn't know if you had any specific fashion tips for the gals.
I think the most important thing is to wear what you like and make sure it fits.
Yeah, agreed. I like that too.
Yeah, that to me is the most important thing. And really pay attention to fabrics. You want to make sure you don't want cheap fabrics that don't breathe.
No. Or you don't want stuff that you can see through. Like have it lined. Like there are just certain details too with like your undergarments. I would say, to me, you can't go wrong with black. I know that is probably against the Dolly rules or whatever, but to me, black is just so classic. It's so flattering. When you don't have anything else, it's like just throw on some black.
Little black dress,
you gonna look cute. You gonna
just
look
be
nice.
posh, spice up in this
and
piece.
like you said, make sure it fits.
Yeah,
make sure it fits.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can stop it right there. We can obviously keep going, you guys, because fashion, you know, is something that's near and dear. Yep, obviously. So, if you had to rate this book, my dear friend, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 acoustic guitars.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna give it 4.5 wigs.
Okay.
Big ones.
Big ones.
I'm only taking the 0.5 off because if I have one critique, if I'm just being
I
ultra,
know this has been a love fest. There's got to be something.
Listen, if I'm being ultra critical of this book, the one thing, because we talked about the great production value, the one thing I didn't think was produced very well was that the interviews were not in a studio. Like, you should have asked these people to go to the studio and record their bit, because there was one person, he had a French accent and the echo was so much that I had a hard time hearing him, and I wanted to hear it because he was saying such nice things, and I was like,
and
damn.
it sounded like he was in a hallway.
And I hated it. I hated each and every. It was really hard, and I was like, am I becoming an audio snob? I couldn't, because this. I mean, I don't feel like ours though is perfect, but I think that it would have, because it was so beautifully produced. That was the only part where I'm like, damn. I wish they would have tailored that. I wish they would have asked people like, hey, you know, send a car for them so they go to their nearest studio to record their stuff.
I'm gonna start a trend called mom jokes, because there's always dad jokes, but we're gonna do some mom jokes. So, why is your daughter lucky that you're a podcaster?
Oh God.
You can just say, I don't know, so I can do the punchline.
Know.
Okay. Because you can give her sound advice.
Okay.
Mom jokes.
Okay, I see what you did there.
Mom jokes.
Yes, sound advice.
Mom jokes.
Okay.
That's this thing.
Mom jokes. So there you have it, folks. Another episode of the Fake Ass Book Club. Hope you enjoyed it this week, you guys. We're gonna spin the wheel before we get out of here, though, and I'm gonna let Kat announce it. All right, so spin it.
All right. So our next book is going to be Dapper. Oh, wait. Let me look up. I don't even remember the title. Shit.
Right. That's why I said Kat's gonna announce it all.
Oh, man. That shit, I was all
Dan.
kind of, I was like, man, the Dapper
That was
Dan book,
great.
y'all.
You know which one it is?
Dapper Dan.
Not Dapper Dan meaning. It's like, what does that mean?
Okay. We're going to be reading Dapper Dan, Made in Harlem, a memoir by Mr. Daniel Day, also known as Dapper Dan. Not the hair cream, the person.
So are we on a fashion roll?
We are
right
on
now?
a fashion kick. We are
Oh my
going
God.
into spring, which
My
is like the
God.
best time for fashion because we can finally get rid of these coats and be like, hey, boom, here's the fashion, people.
Man, I don't know. I tend to like the coats and the boots and the sweaters and all that stuff too. But this is a really fun fashion moment when it starts to warm up. Peel away those layers and show off what you got under there. So I'm excited. I'm excited to, get into his book. I'm always loving some fashion.
And we can bring the straight men back into it.
Yeah, because they're going to get into this.
Yeah.
And I'll have time to think about maybe some designers for the next episode. I'm going to be thoughtful about that and try to come back and have a couple.
If you could just have someone to pull some pieces for you.
That makes me feel so excited that I can't even get my life together, and I probably wouldn't even be able to decide. But I'm going to come up with a few.
And actually, I might come up with a top 10.
Oh my God. Right. It's
Because I feel like I left too many people out. And I feel like,
5 is hard. See, look at you. We're going to say
right? Because I say indigenous designers. There's some really interesting stuff. I was about to say, I feel like I had the matte lipstick on.
That was
so
good.
You should
That was good. See, fashion. She knew what to do. See, unlike myself, I had to put lip gloss. We take a break.
It's the only way I can keep it from getting on my teeth. I got big teeth.
Oh my God. They're nice. I like them. So yeah, guys, check us out coming up. We do have a live show April the 27th at the Middle Ground Comedy Fest.
Oh, and this comes out Wednesday. So if you're
does.
listening to this, it was dropped at 7:30. You still have time to go to Songs You Never Hear Out at the White Rabbit.
Okay.
Being hosted by a friend of the show, Brothers to the Night. So I think I'm going to be there.
Okay.
The weather's supposed to be
You
nice.
said a Wednesday?
On a Wednesday. Yeah.
That's what's up. I don't have a life where Wednesdays mean anything. But yeah, if you guys can, definitely go out and do that. We also have another show coming up that following day. April 28th is a Sunday at 1:00. PopCon. You guys will be there talking our nerd shit. So if you were interested.
In cosplay.
Yep. I might be wearing a Wonder Woman shirt. Saying if Kat let me borrow one. But yeah, so we have some fun stuff coming up. So yeah.
Middle ground.
I said that one first.
Oh, you just said that one first?
I said Middle Ground, and then you popped in with the
PopCon. Okay.
No. You popped in with Brother to the Nights event.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, I was so excited.
It's a lot of stuff going on, friend. It's midnight. We're excited about all the stuff we have coming up. We're excited for our friends' stuff coming up. So guys, come out and support all of the fun stuff we have. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else we have to say?
If we do, we'll have to say it on Instagram.
Okay. Listen, that's probably not gonna happen. So you guys enjoy your lives, be fancy.
Oh yeah, your body belongs to you. So put them clothes on that you want on it.
Do that thing. Do it. Get fancy. Or not. And come back and see us. Do that. I'm gonna insist. I'm just gonna insist. So come back and see us. And until next time, guys. Peace.
I wanted to wear something like maybe sexier since she's so sexy, but I was like, man, I'm not
Can't
sexy
do it.
today. I can't be sexy every day. Like I don't know how the Latin girls do it. They be sexy 24/7. 24/7. I be needing sexy breaks.
I mean, I wouldn't mind you, but it's just again, I need a team. It can't just be me. Somebody else is gonna have to care about that.
And it turns out I was wrong about my client. She didn't have a hot day.